Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to a crochet along, a Jayda InStitches style live stream crochet along. Mondays. I'm still getting my braining gear, even though it's, 11 a.m. At least it is here. I've got my coffee, I've got my yarn and my hook, and I'm ready to go. And you're all likely wondering what we're up to today, so I won't keep you in suspense for very long. Mr. InStitches is here. And I'm going to make some miniature Christmas stockings today. So we're going to revisit our miniature Christmas stocking pattern. We have a tutorial for that. So again, if you want the recap, we have that. This is the Falling Leaves Stitch Pattern Little Christmas Stocking Advent Calendar that we did, last year, the year before. Time just seems to kind of, my gosh, I think it was 2021, so a couple years ago now. And I've got all of them here, so I thought maybe I would just sort of talk about a few of them before we got into it today. And I'm going to talk about the slight variation that I'm going to do to the pattern just to make it a little interesting for today's crochet along. It is Monday. It is the Thanksgiving week in the US, and being in Canada, we get kind of a little bit caught up in the wake of that because a lot of people here have family and friends in the US, and lots of people celebrate Thanksgiving kind of if not absolutely on Thursday, kind of around the same time, because they've got friends and family who do it too. Certainly the whole Black Friday thing has made its way up here north of the border, so if you're in Canada, you'll see signs for Black Friday too. So it's kind of a festive week, and we're gonna go for a festive feeling all week long here. And oh my goodness gracious, Marie, thank you. Marie just picked up a couple patterns at our Etsy shop. We will have some surprises for you throughout the week. We will give you little hints about what's coming as we progress through today's live stream. So without further ado, quickly to let you know what I'm going to be using, I've got my measuring tape, a stitch marker, my scissors, my yarn needle, the usual things. I'm using a larger hook today. It's a 6mm, also known as a J, and I've got two yarns. This is a Bernat Premium acrylic. It's technically a size 4, but it's on the heavier side of the size 4 weight category. And I'm pairing it with this lovely size 5 bulky or chunky weight yarn. This is that Olivia Diamond yarn. I can't quite remember the name of it. I know somebody will remember it because I used it earlier in another live stream to make a hat, and I still have some left over. So I want to play with these two different yarn weights and make a really pretty stocking. And this is what they look like. I know Mr. InStitches sort of showed you some of the pictures. I've got 24 of them, and there's so many fun little ways you can, I've got my little advent numbers on these little stockings already. Here's your typical, red, green. I like to sometimes change up the top of the stocking edging just to be a slightly different color. So I like these ones. These are very traditional. And then I've got some not so traditional. I used a self-striping tweed style yarn for the base of the stocking and gray for the toe and the trim. And I was really using up some scraps on this, and I just love how this one turned out. It's just so darn cute. This is a Lion Brand Ferris wheel yarn that I used for the base of the stocking. So solid toe color, heel color, but like a wild variegated middle. I really like that. Here's one where I made the heel, the toe, and the edging all the same color, but then I alternated rows of the falling leaf stitch all the way up the base of the stocking to kind of give it like a harlequin look, and I really like how that one turned out. We've got a tutorial, I should say a written pattern in our Etsy shop for there's two of them. There's one that's just for the stocking, and then there's one that's the stocking and the entire advent calendar kind of project. So two different listings, and that's our sneaky sale today. That one's on sale today. So if you're interested in picking up our stocking pattern, you're more than welcome to do that. And you can get just the stocking, or you can get the whole thing, which is the stocking and the little advent calendar. It comes with like the little template with the numbers and stuff. This one is more of that Ferris. I changed up the sort of the toe, heel, and edging to be kind of, I tried to focus in on that pretty little kind of like a wine color. So I really like how that one turned out. Here's one that's a real sort of mishmash of I had a whole bunch of different scraps that I just mixed together. So I think every third row I did with a gold. I did three different repeating colors up the body of the. So anyway, this is one of those little patterns that you can use up your scraps with. You can make them all very specific if you want to. You know, if you want sort of a more traditional, or maybe you want to make it like make some for like little boys. You don't have to make this just for an advent calendar. I love giving stockings as like kind of like a little gift bag. I feel like one of these little stockings with like some goodies and, you know, maybe a gift card or something in it it is just such a precious little gift. From top to bottom, they are 7 inches or 17 centimeters, more or less, maybe 18 centimeters. If you use a medium size 4 worsted weight yarn and a G6 hook, a 4 millimeter or a 4.25 millimeter. But I'm going to upsize my yarn today just a little bit, and my hook, just to make it a little bit bigger. So we're going to see how that turns out and how big that becomes. But lots of different options for color, and I've got, of course, 24 of these little darlings.
I would like to quickly shout out Nico for gifting a membership.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Also Karen J for joining our family.
Welcome, Karen, and thank you, Nico. Thank you so much. We've got such wonderful members in our community, and it's lovely to see it growing. I'm really happy to see that we're still kind of gaining subscribers. So thank you to everybody who's been sharing our videos and liking it. Oh my goodness, Joanna, thank you. Joanna just bought a pattern. Thank you so much. All of that sort of interaction with the channel really helps. It helps kind of promote us, and we've been, you know, YouTube is so busy these days, and there's so many of us out there on YouTube, and it's difficult to be found. So if you like us and you like the kind of tutorials we put out and everything, and you've got crafty friends, please make sure that they know about us, because it does help. All right, I'm going to get right into this little stocking. We start at the toe. I'm going to be using this really pretty coral color for the toe, the heel, and the trim, and then this more interesting sort of self-striping, tweedy, thick yarn for the main base of the stocking. I love stockings and Christmas ornaments that are made in non-traditional colors, and these are 2 of my favorite combinations. So here we go. We're going to start with a cinch circle. And like I said, we've got an actual tutorial for this, so if you want a quick recap after today's live stream, we will make sure that's linked down below for you. So cinch circle made into the cinch circle. We're going to use the single crochet stitch. We're going to work 6 single crochet into that circle, working over top of the short tail. There we go. 6 single crochet. I'm going to cinch up that circle nice and tight. I'm going to work over top of my short tail. We're not joining the row. We make the entire toe section working a consistent in the round format. So we're not joining our rows with a slip stitch. We're just going to work the first single crochet of every row into what was the first stitch of the previous row. So row 2, we're going to go from 6 to 12, 2 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. This is a nice time to employ that stitch marker. You can mark the first stitch of the row and then turn your brain off. You just have to worry about getting the right stitch repeat as opposed to what number you're on. I find I don't always use a stitch marker. Like if I'm just quietly working away on my own and I don't have the distractions of, say, chit-chatting with anybody, then I just count. I just sort of count out my stitches, and I don't necessarily need the stitch marker. But if I'm, you know, crocheting socially or hanging out with you guys like we are today, then I find putting that stitch marker on stitch number 1 of the row really helps me move along at a nice quick pace. So that's the end of row 2. That's 12 single crochet all the way around. Still increasing for row 3. We begin with 2 single crochet in the first stitch, followed by 1 single crochet in the stitch after that. And I'm just going to mark stitch number 1 of the row and then start my repeats again. 2 single crochet into the next stitch, single crochet once into the stitch after that. Oh my goodness. Hobby. Oh, Holly Hobby. Oh God, that's so cute. Holly, thank you. Thank you so much. 2, 1, 2, 1 all the way around. We're going to go from 12 stitches at the end of row 2 all the way up to 18 stitches at the end of row 3. So base of 6. I really love this coral color. It is just, I think it might be one of my favorites. It's sort of partway between pink and orange, which I love. That's the end of row 3, so that puts us up to 18 stitches all the way around. One more row of increase, row 4. The increase pattern is now 2 single crochet into the first stitch, single crochet once into each of the next 2. And I'm going to go back and mark that first stitch of the row right there. And then I'm going to continue with that increase. So 2 single crochet into the next stitch, single crochet once into each of the next 2. And that little pattern gets repeated 6 times in total and will be up to 24 stitches. And I am really delighted that you guys could join us today. I know it's probably going to be a busy week for many of you. Hopefully we will provide some company for you while you're running around cleaning or preparing food or making lists. And that is the last stitch of row 4. Okay. We are up to 24 stitches at the end of row 4, and we've got a nice round-ish circle. We have one more row of toe section to do. This is row 5. We're going to single crochet in each stitch all the way around. So I'm just going to work a single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches before I put my stitch marker back in place. That's stitch number 1 of row 5. We're not increasing, we're just single crocheting in every stitch all the way around. And we're going to even up the toe circle section at the end of row 5, and then we're going to get into the fun stuff with the falling leaves pattern. Christmas stockings are my favorite Christmas ornament, and I would like to know down below, what is your favorite type of Christmas ornament? So we don't have to do a poll. Maybe we'll refine the poll a little bit later based on everybody's answers, but please let me know in the chat what your favorite kind of Christmas ornament is. Mine is by far a Christmas stocking. I'm just absolutely enamored with them. At the end of row 5, I've got 24 stitches all the way around. I'm going to single crochet into each of the next 4 stitches just to even up the row. Pamela, thank you so much. So that's a single crochet into every stitch all the way around, and then a single crochet into each of the next 4 stitches after you finish single crocheting in every stitch around. That just basically evens up that section, makes it a little more round. That's the toe section. Now we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch and fasten off. So 24 stitches in total. Fastening off, that is the toe section done. Oh, I love this color so much. It makes me smile. Oh my gosh. Tanya, thank you. Thank you, ladies. All right, now I'm going to bring in this absolutely scrumptious chunky weight yarn, and we're going to start the falling leaves stitch, which I just love. So I'm starting the main stitch pattern and the foot. So the toe is going to get sort of built into the rest of the foot section now. I'm using my really pretty multiple sort of self stripes, and it's tweed at the same time. I love these yarns. I'm going to start with a slip knot on my hook. I'm going to join my yarn with a single crochet in the same place that I joined my yarn. So see this place right here? Janine, thank you. Thank you very much. That's the stitch right where I fastened off, and right underneath it, I'm going to put my hook in there. I'm going to join with a single crochet. So I pick up a loop and single crochet. So I've joined with a single crochet. Into the same stitch, I'm going to work 2 double crochets. So a little falling leaf motif is single crochet, 2 double crochet, all worked into the same stitch. So 3 little stitches in the same place, a single crochet, 2 double crochets, and it creates kind of like a little leaf shape. that's one leaf complete. I think I'm going to leave my tails to the back and I'll work over top and I'll weave them in later on. You skip 2 stitches, find the third and work a little leaf into it. Single crochet, 2 double crochets. Skip 2 stitches, find the next one and work a single crochet and 2 double crochets into it. And we're going to have 8 little leaves all the way around by the time we're finished this row. 24 stitches still, so the stitch count hasn't changed, but we're just reordering and reshaping the stitches. And I love the way it looks. It kind of looks like a little, it's almost looks like it's sort of, the pattern is biting into the toe section. I'm going to try and avoid yarn barf here. May or may not happen. There we go. All right, at the end of this row, this is row 1 of the foot section. It's the first row where we start our falling leaf stitch. Make sure you've got 8 of those little falling leaves and you'll have 2 stitches left to skip. This stitch right here, the stitch that we call the false stitch, it's what you get when you are working in the round and you join that row with a slip stitch. You're just going to ignore it. Doesn't really count. You still have 2 stitches left to skip. You're going to join with a slip stitch to that first single crochet you made. And now your toe is sort of starting to turn more into a bit of a bowl shape. We're going to chain 1 and turn. This is the unique thing about this pattern. While we work this falling leaves stitch, we chain 1 and turn at the end of every row. And that sets us up to work the leaf into the single crochet. So you want to work into the same place that you joined because you joined with a slip stitch in a single crochet. So you want to single crochet and work 2 double crochet into the same place that you joined. So you're working directly below where your working loop is. So make sure that single crochet and the 2 double crochets are in that little short stitch, the single crochet that you joined in. Then you skip over 2 stitches. There's 1 there, there's 1 there, and you find the third stitch, which will always be a single crochet. It'll also sort of look like it's pulled down a little bit. And you continue that pattern, single crochet, 2 double crochet into that stitch. And like we say, we've got a tutorial which is more concise on how to make these little stockings. And I used that Lion Brand Heartland for that video. I just love the Heartland. It makes such a nice shiny little stocking.
I'm going to show everyone quick what you're making. I'm going to put up the
Sure.
the images here. And a big thank you to Nico for gifting another membership.
Nico, thank you. Thank you so much, Nico. And Regina. Regina won it. Welcome back, Regina. All right, so there are going to be 8 little leaf motifs in every single row, and it just basically forms a nice sort of texture. You're going to finish your last single crochet, 2 double crochet worked into the single crochet from the row before. You skip over the 2 double crochets, find the first single crochet you made and slip stitch to it. So you have 8 little leaves or 24 stitches in every row. And I'm using a really fluffy kind of tweedy looking sort of yarn. So you can't see the individual stitches, but you can definitely see that texture starting. Luckily, this is a fairly easy pattern to sort of see where you're at because there's a visual of that single crochet that kind of pulls down. It's always a little bit lower than the double crochets next to it. And of course, you can always still just stop and take a look for those stitches. There's number 3. Join your yarn with a slip stitch in the first single crochet of the row. Chain 1, turn, and directly into the same place that you joined, so right below your single crochet. Start the next row with a single crochet and 2 double crochet. Always worked into a single crochet. Skip over the tall 2 stitches, find the 3rd stitch, which is the short single crochet, and continue that falling leaf pattern. So I'm going to do this for a total of 6 rows of the falling leaf pattern. I join with a slip stitch, chain 1, turn at the end of every row, and I'm going to get this really lovely kind of a chunky textured stocking going. I'm liking how this looks. Plus I love the non-traditional colors. I think these colors are so pretty. Now my thinking was to make up a few of these to have on hand as sort of little gift bags, but I might end up keeping this because I love the colors so much. That is the end of row 3 of the foot section. So I've done three different rows so far. There's row 1. Row 2 kind of leans, so row 1, they lean in different directions. So you look for the stitches going this way, and then the stitches going this way, and then the stitches going that way. So I can see that I've done 3 different rows. I have 3 more rows of the falling leaf stitch to do. Chain 1, turn, and continue. Single crochet, 2 double crochet in the same place that I joined. Skip over to the short stitch. It's also easy to see because there's like a sort of a fairly decent sized space right there. And work a little leaf into it. Sometimes my double crochets want to turn into half double crochets. That nice big space. I find that the single crochets, because they're short and they're sort of hedged in between double crochets, they pull a little bit, like there's a much easier to see space. This is definitely going to be a fluffier, chubbier stocking than my other little ones. Even though I haven't changed the pattern, I'm just changing the hook size and the yarn weight category, something I absolutely love to experiment with when I love a pattern. And this is sort of the kind of information that I would include in my project journal. Sort of for the entry under this particular Christmas stocking, I'd have to make sure I add, oh, and it works out to be, you know, so big if I use this hook and this yarn. So joining row 4 of the foot section with a slip stitch. Oh, that's going to be so cute.
Everyone's really loving the yarn choice and colors. So if you could explain what type and what color you're using.
Yes, absolutely. So this is Bernat Premium. It's available at Walmart. I'm not sure if it's available anywhere else, but it's one of my favorite acrylics. It is soft. It's a size 4, but it's on the heavier side of the size 4. And this is the coral peach color. I believe this is called coral peach. I am just in love with this color. I could drink it. And this is a ball of, I think it's called Olivia Diamond, Olivia Yarns, or Olivia Diamond. I know somebody knows this. I used it in, I don't have I've kind of misplaced the label.
Did we get that one from Mary Maxim or?
No, I picked this one up at a yarn shop.
Like a specific yarn shop?
Yeah, while we were out prowling around one day a few years ago. But I think it's called like Olivia Diamond or Olivia something.
Yeah, that sounds right. Mm-hmm. Olivia something.
Yeah, and I made when we did the Easy Perfect hat live crochet along for our original hat tutorial, I used this to make a big chunky hat, and I still have a lot left over, and I love the colors of that. I can't think of the colorway, but I'm pretty sure Olivia Diamond is the name of the yarn.
Olivia by Diamond.
Olivia by Diamond, thank you.
That's from My Yarn Loft.
Thank you,
Olivia
My Yarn
by
Loft.
Diamond yarn.
Yes.
That sounds right.
Yes. Anyway, I really love it. It's a chunky, it's acrylic. It's a heavy size 5 weight yarn. And I really like it. So I'm mixing the two together, and because I'm using a slightly heavier weight, I'm using a larger hook. So I'm using a 6mm or a J hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've done 4 rows, chain 1 turn. I'm going to single crochet and double crochet into the same stitch that I joined in, and continue that little leaf pattern all the way around, looking for that single crochet from the previous row each time. You should always have 8. If you have trouble keeping track, like if you're not used to using a big fluffy weight yarn like I am using here, then this is another good opportunity to remember to use your stitch markers. So you could, for example, put your stitch marker on that first stitch of the row. There's leaf number 1, there's leaf number 2. I'm working on leaf number 3. There are 8 little leaves in each row of the foot section, and again in the upper part of the stocking. And that way you know you're not losing stitches or adding any. I absolutely love the falling leaves stitch. It is just so darn cute.
Do you remember the wooden hook we used in those photos? Do you remember what size that one is?
Yes, let me
That's
grab
that
it.
Jumbo.
I have it right here. Let me just finish this row and I'll go get it. Joining with a slip stitch to the first single crochet of the row. There we go. I've got one more row. Oh gosh, that is just so darn cute. I've got one more row to go. Let me have a quick swig of my coffee and I'll grab that hook. It's the big one, right?
Yes, it's the big wooden one.
Like I have 2 big wooden ones. There's a lot of noise. All right. So I have this one. This is a 50 size US 50 or 25mm, meaning that the diameter of it is 25mm. So that's pretty juicy, but it's not the biggest one I have. I also have this one, which is a US size 70, also known as a 35mm, and it's super chunky, and I have not yet used it to, actually that's not true, I have used it once to make a little wreath. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but I love it. Ronald and Kathy Jones are in the house. Hey cousins! Good morning. Good morning, cousins. We enjoy spending our Mondays with you. We are thankful for you and that you are family. Aww. Have a wonderful week and love the show and stocking. Please don't drink the yarn, Kathy and Ron. Thank you. I mean, come on. Doesn't sometimes the color of a yarn just make you want to... I don't know. I sometimes have a salivatory. Is that the right word? I salivate sometimes when I see a really beautiful color. Does anybody else do that, or am I the only weirdo here?
Weirdo.
Anyway, those are my two gigantic wooden hooks. I've used them both for a couple of things, and they're kind of fun. They're fun to play with. If you have pain, like finger pain, wrist pain, arthritis pain, then you might actually find working with one of these kind of fun, provided you just relax and go with it. Don't try to manipulate it like a tiny little hook. You know, you're actually going to end up gripping it like almost like you're holding a tennis racket or something. And that's okay. You're going to end up using your whole arm. You're going to use your whole arm on the other side to sort of work that yarn. And you just sort of have to treat it a bit like a gentle exercise as opposed to crocheting. Really kind of fun. I like it. All right, let's get back to my stocking. So I think I finished a 5th row. I have one more row to go. I'm going to get myself some slack here. Trying to keep my yarn from knotting up on me. One little leaf, 2 little leaf, 3, 4, 5 little leaves. I have one more row to go. So I'm going to chain 1, turn, and into the same place. Single crochet, 2 double crochets. And I'm going to mark that first stitch with my stitch marker. It's a good little habit to be in, and it means I can move a little faster because I don't have to kind of worry about counting so much. We woke up to a little dusting of snow today, and then while I was pouring my first cup of coffee, it started to snow again, and it was that kind of really pretty, it starts like a couple of little wisps of snow falling down and you're not even sure that you're seeing snow. And then within about a minute and a half, it's just coming down like a heavy blanket. And then just as quickly as it comes, it goes. And it's all gone. There's no snow on the ground anymore. It's not really cold enough here yet to keep snow around for very long. All right, that's the last stitch of that row. I'm going to join with a slip stitch. There we go. So at the end of row 6, that's row 6 of the foot part of our stocking, we are not fastening off. We are just going to pull up on that working loop. And I'm going to put my hook down for a second. I'm going to switch back now to my other color because I'm going to start the heel section. And what I want to do is I want to flatten the stocking so that the working loop is in the middle back. So this is the working loop. I want to flatten my stocking so that it is back here. It's in the very middle back, or the part of the stocking that's the furthest away from me. I'm going to have a little sip of my coffee here. Okay, so I'm going to grab my other color. I am going to start with a slip knot on my hook. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to identify the 2 little motifs that are directly across from the working loop. So I come directly over here, and here are my 2 little motifs. That equals 6 stitches in total. There's a double, a single, a double, and a single worked across those 2 little motifs. I'm going to join my yarn with a single crochet in the first stitch over here, this little double crochet. And then I'm going to double crochet into each of the next 5, or I should say single crochet, and then I'm going to single crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. So the first of those 6 stitches, joining with a single crochet back to my little heel color. And then I'm going to single crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. So I've worked a single crochet in each of the stitches across those 2 little falling leaf motifs. There we go. So a little easier to see now that I've switched back to that regular yarn. 6 stitches all the way across. I'm going to chain 1 and turn. Then I'm going to single crochet in every single one of those 6 stitches. You're always skipping your turning chain, by the way. Single crochet into each of those 6 stitches, and then single crochet into the next stitch along the edge of the foot section, or the different colored yarn. So 6 will become 7. There's each of my 6 single crochets all the way back. And now I'm going to single crochet into the next stitch, which is a single crochet down here. And I'm going to make that kind of tight because I don't want any little spaces between the stocking foot and the heel. So I've single crocheted down again into the stocking. I'm going to chain 1 turn. I'm going to single crochet back across those 7 stitches and then single crochet down into the next stitch along the side. Oh, this is so pretty. I love it when you get to work on just a little something and the colors are so pretty and they make you smile. Make those single crochets when you work off the side of your main heel and then back down onto the body. Make them a little tighter just so that you don't end up with any spaces. That's 8. Chain 1 turn. Single crochet back across those stitches. Single crochet into the next stitch along the edge, nice and tight. We're up from 8 to 9 stitches now. Few more stitches or a few more rows to go. Single crochet back across those 9 stitches and then into the next stitch along the foot, which will make 10. There's the next one right here. Chain 1 turn. We're going to single crochet back across those. What are we up to? 11 stitches, 10 stitches? I'll count in a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then into the next stitch, that's number 11. Back across those 11, and then into the 12th stitch. That'll be it for our little heel section. So number 12, the last stitch of the heel worked into the edge of the foot, and you've got a definite heel now happening. That's it for the second color, the color B, the heel color. So I'm going to fasten off. And I can work over top of this or just weave it in later. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll weave it in now just so I don't have to fiddle with it later. Just so it gets out of my way. And I'm going to do the toe stuff later on. This is out of my way now. There we go. So here's our working loop from the foot section. Now you can really see, oh my gosh, this is so cute. Toe, foot, heel. I'm going to have a little sip of my coffee. All right.
For those of you just joining, Jayda is making the mini stockings, which is a tutorial from last year, I believe.
Yep. 2021, actually, 2 years ago.
2021, 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. My goodness.
I know, time flies. goodness. Lisa, thank you so much. All right. I'm going to put my hook back in my work. Oh my gosh. Nancy, thank you. Thank you very much, both of you. I'm going to continue now with the upper part of the stocking. So just to give you a visual, we've done the little toe. We did the little foot part. We just did the little heel. And now we're going to continue with the rest of the upper before we put on the little edging at the top. So you start right where you were. You chain one and turn, and we're going to continue with that falling leaf stitch. So chain one, turn just like normal. Look for where you joined, which is right here. So right below where you joined, you're going to start that row with a single crochet and 2 double crochets. And I will mark that with a stitch marker just so I can see it when I get back around. Helpful thing when you're using sort of a fluffier yarn. Skip 2, find the single crochet, work a little leaf, single crochet, 2 double crochet. Skip 2, find the little single crochet, 2 double crochet into that stitch. And now we're at the heel. So I'm just going to give myself a little bit of slack here. Across the heel, we've got 12 stitches. So I'm going to skip the first 2 stitches of the heel, find the next stitch. So skip 2, find the next one, and continue with that little leaf stitch, single crochet, 2 double crochet, skip 2, find the next stitch, single crochet, 2 double crochet, skip 2, find the next stitch, single crochet, 2 double crochet, and then skip 2, find the very last stitch that you made and work your final little leaf into that part of the heel, single crochet, 2 double crochet, and then you're back to skipping little leaves again. So there's 2 double crochet and there's the single crochet, and that's how we seamlessly blend this stitch in across the heel. You're still going to have 8 little leaves or 24 stitches all the way around. So that was my last leaf. I skip 2, I'm back to the beginning, and I join with a slip stitch to that first single crochet. And if I pause, pull up on my loop, you can see now that we've seamlessly continued our little falling leaf stitch all the way across the top of our heel. And it's joined in with the rest of the foot. So now we're going to end up building up the main part of the stocking, up the little sort of ankle part. So that was row 1 of the upper part of the stocking. Rows 2 through 10 is just a repeat of the falling leaf stitch. You work 8 little falling leaves all the way around. Each one is a single crochet and 2 double crochets worked into the same, or the single crochet from the previous row. So chain 1, turn at the end of every row. Every row you're joining with a slip stitch to the top of the first single crochet. And as previously mentioned, we have a tutorial on how to do this. And we'll make sure that's in the description box down below in case you want a quicker recap. And I'll just mark that first stitch with my stitch marker. It's helpful when you're using a fluffy yarn or bulky weight yarn. Anytime you use yarn that, you know, is just a little bit more, what's the word? I don't want to say it's hard to see. I can see it, but you know, all of those stitches can kind of, when you're working with a fluffy yarn or a chunky bulky weight yarn or something, the stitches may become a little more blended into each other. So it's a good time to whip out your stitch markers and make use of them. So I got very busy here. I did not get a chance to see what people were saying in terms of what their favorite Christmas ornament was. Mr. InStitches, can you enlighten me?
Oh my goodness, that was way back.
That was way back.
I don't know if I can go that far back in the chat. I will check. I'm going to end the poll. The poll, some people can't see it. So we've been having issues with the poll lately. I noticed that it doesn't go through. Some people get a blank screen, and it also messes up the computer. It really slows the computer down. Anyway, the poll said, do you live in an area where it snows often? And so far, we have 80 votes. 51% no and 49% yes. So almost 50-50.
Wow.
So I'm going to end that. Hopefully it fixes our stream here. And I'm going to see if I can find some of those comments. I do believe some people were saying things that are sparkly, old-fashioned.
Oh, I love old-fashioned stuff. I'm a gigantic fan of nostalgia. Like, I'm really, like, I think I mentioned in Friday's tutorial when we made the gingerbread man candy cane holders, that I'm just feeling like hyper nostalgic this year. I'm remembering all of these little ornaments that, you know, we had to hang on the tree when I was really little. I'm remembering things from my grandmother's Christmas tree. Like, these are, you know, having sort of some memories of things that I haven't really thought of in quite a while, which I'm really enjoying. And it's making me, you know, want to recreate some of these things with crochet.
It doesn't look like I can go that far back.
Okay.
So everyone will have to repeat their answer.
I'll also be able to see the chat replay later, but I would like to see it. Yeah, so bauble ornaments, I love those. Glass ornaments, oh yes, me too. Me too. Chain one turn.
Krista says that a lot of the people in the chat said snowmen. So a lot of people like snowmen.
Snowmen.
Snow globes.
I think that's my aunt. My aunt has her main theme of decorating is little snowmen, which is really
classic bauble.
Mm-hmm. Bauble lights. I love
Bauble
lights. Trees,
C9
stars,
lights.
Hearts.
What's a C9
Stuff
light?
the kids make. Carlene, thank you. Thank
Pictures
you so much.
of family. Homemade funky ornaments. Like pasta glued together to cardboard.
I love that
kind of stuff.
I love homemade ornaments too.
A Scandinavian straw chain. Cool.
Wow.
I'd like to see that. Snowmen is definitely one of the big ones.
Well, they're so cute.
Cotton angels.
Cotton angels. Oh, neat.
Nico says cottage pie with beef.
Oh, we're talking about...
Nico wants shepherd pie all over the Christmas tree. So is that real shepherd's pie or just like plastic shepherd's pie?
I love shepherd's pie. That's one of my...
Mickey Mouse. Okay. Forest creatures. Yes. I like that too. Little squirrels and birds and
I have
things.
lots of squirrels and owls for the tree. 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4.
Little hats and sweaters.
I like those too. So this is row 5 of the upper part of the stocking. So I'm already halfway through the upper part. I'm just going to sort of motor through the next 6 rows here. This one and the following 5, just so I can get to the top. It's the same little repeating pattern, and so once your fingers kind of get comfortable with skipping those 2 double crochet stitches and always looking for the shorter single crochet stitch, making sure you don't skip any additional little leaves, making sure you always have 8 little falling leaves or 24 stitches if you're counting stitches. You can get going pretty quick here. I find that this really starts to speed up in the upper part of the stocking. And then I'm back to the beginning, joining with a single crochet, or I should say joining with a slip stitch to that first single crochet, chain 1 turn. This is row 6 now. Hello, Bonnie. Bonnie's been a member for 45 months with a little membership milestone. Bonnie is checking in. Hi, Bonnie. Thank you for being a member. Big hello to all of our lurkers hanging out with us today, getting some stuff done. I kind of am envisioning like a lot of us just sort of putting on the little party and then roaring around cleaning or organizing or...
Yes, there's been lots of comments about that, getting things done while watching. Who was it here? Lisa's been making one along with you at work, but her boss interrupted her.
Well, how dare she?
How dare your boss interrupt you while you're crocheting at work? How dare you? For those of you that are making along with Jayda, this is obviously the live stream. We do have a more concise tutorial for this pattern.
Yep.
Do you remember the title of that video?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the mini Christmas stocking using the falling leaf stitch.
And
it was it was also specifically using Heartland by Lion Brand.
Yes, and there's a part 2 which shows you how to do the calendar.
It was a 2-part video series.
Yes.
So one video is the stocking, and the other video is putting together the little advent calendar.
We have a new member. Big thank you to Beth for joining. Welcome to Alpaca. And a milestone from Joanna.
Joanna's been a member for 22 months. Thank you, Joanna. Joanna says, love snowmen and not just for the tree. I agree. I love them everywhere. And welcome, Beth. Welcome to Alpaca. Thank you for joining the family. It is a festive week here at the Jayda and Stitches show.
E Peaches says, show. Show what?
Show?
What are you looking for? Are you saying snow or show? Like show a picture? I'll put up what Jayda's making again. We have a little slideshow here.
This is...
What is an advent calendar, says Nico.
Nico,
are you trolling Jayda? You're going to send her into a tailspin now. Do you want to explain to Nico what a advent calendar is?
Yes. So an advent calendar is a calendar, typically of 24 days, that count down the days of Advent to Christmas Day. Christmas Eve, the 24th, is the last little Advent day. And there are, oh my gosh, dozens and dozens and dozens of kinds of Advent calendars. A lot of us might remember the little boxes of chocolates that were available when we were kids with like a little printed picture on the front with little perforated doors in the cardboard, and they're all numbered 1 through 24, and you have to find the day's number, and you open up that little perforated cardboard door, and it reveals the chocolate or the little toy or something that's inside, and then you get to do that every morning. This advent calendar that we made last year was 24 of these little stockings. I like to hang them all. There's a lot of different ways you could hang them. I like to lay out one of my blankets and sort of like drape it over something like a quilt holder and then pin all of my little stockings to it. One year I had them all going up the staircase, and they're all numbered, and each one of them has something in it, like a little candy cane or a chocolate or something, and then every day you get to kind of pull that little treat or that chocolate out of the stocking. And then there's, a lot of other things that might go along with that little advent calendar. Maybe you might have a little prayer, or maybe there's a little wish, or there's a little like today's good deed we're going to, or whatever. There's a billion different things you can do with the advent calendars. And there's a lot, every kind of thing you could possibly be into seems to have an advent calendar available for purchase. And I will say there are Lego advent calendars, and I have yet to be able to get my hands on one. They're very expensive, and they seem to sell out immediately. So I've been trying to get one for the mister.
You have to pre-order those Lego ones like 2 years in advance.
Yes. Shelly
sent us a super chat.
With a super chat that says, how do I increase the amount? So are we talking the amount of stitches? Increase the size, increase the weight yarn? Okay, I'll just talk briefly about increasing while I turn and continue with my pattern here.
And a quick shout out to Misunderstood Mall for rejoining.
Misunderstood Mall.
Crochet Family. Someone made me laugh. I think it was Crocus said, my daughter used to call these absent calendars.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh my gosh.
I'm sure some people would love it if their families were absent during Christmas parties. The absent calendar.
The absent calendar. That's so cute. All right, increasing. First of all, we do have a larger version of this stocking. So this is the miniature version of a Christmas stocking that we made a year or even two before. In fact, I've got it right here. Hang on one second, guys, and I'll get it. So it's also the same stitch. It's the falling leaves stitch.
Oh my goodness, we misunderstood Shelly. She wanted to give us a bigger super chat.
Oh, Shelly!
Wow.
Golly gee, thank you.
So generous. I'm not sure. I think there's a slider. I think it defaults you to the minimum. No, I think you can go under $2. And I think there's a slider that you have to slide up or down or side to side. I think that's how it works.
I think you're right. Yes. I know
they may have changed it. I haven't seen it in a while.
They do change the software every so often, but
I'm not sure if you have to slide a little lever or if you have to click on different boxes. Maybe someone in the chat knows.
Yes, I think there's a little slider.
Okay, Deanna says it's a slider. Yes. So if you select super chat or sticker, and then you slide that little button, I'm going to guess to the right. That's how you change the amount.
So thank you again, Shelly.
Thank you so much.
Glad to be able to answer that, but I'm just going to continue with how to make it bigger in case anybody's interested. So 2 ways to do it. One, we have a larger version of this pattern. So this is the exact same pattern. We have a tutorial for the Big Brother stocking. This is a full-size stocking. If I measure this from top to bottom, we're talking 16.5 inches or 42 centimeters from top to bottom. So it's a nice big stocking, nice big Christmas stocking, your traditional kind of size that looks nice hanging by the mantle.
Hey, wife.
The fireplace, yes.
Wife, we're getting bombarded with membership gifting here.
Oh my gosh.
So we got 5 gifted memberships from Misunderstood Mall.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Mall.
And 1 from Nico.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Nico. Holy cow.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Let me go back
and there's a whole bunch of winners
see
here.
Who's won. So let's see here. Amy won the gifted membership from Nico. Congratulations, Amy, and thank you again, Nico. And Misunderstood Mall with the mega pack. Thank you so much, Mall. Let's see who's won here. Sylvia, Graybeard, Rose, Charlie, and Michaela. Congratulations, guys. Welcome to the family and welcome back. Thank you so much. Okay, so we've got the large tutorial for this guy. If you wanted to make it a custom size, the falling leaf stitch can be built over any multiple of 3 stitches. So your toe section would have to end on a row count that was a multiple of 3. So this one's 12. I think this one is 24. It's like double the size. And then however many multiples of 3 your toe section winds up being, that's how many little falling leaves you'll have. So for example, this was 24 stitches. This was 48. We ended with 24 stitches at the end of this toe section. 24 divided by 3 is 8. So there's 8 little falling leaf motifs. That's how you figure it out. This one is 48, and 48 divided by 3 is 16. So there's 16 little falling leaf stitch all the way around. I think I've got that math right. And then of course you just you can make the toe section as long as you want. You can make the heel as big as you like based on what we did here. And the same thing with the upper. You can just keep making it taller by adding more rows, or shorter if you want. So you can make either the little one or the big one based on our tutorials. You can change up the number of stitches in the toe section to be a multiple of 3 and then make it a custom thing, or use either one, the small or the large version of our tutorial, and change your yarn and hook size. So for example, you could go with the big version of this stocking, but use crochet thread and like a 2mm hook and make like this absolutely gorgeous lacy stocking, which would be much smaller because you're reducing the size of your yarn and your hook, but it would still be kind of to scale. Same thing, you could make a miniature version of this with the same style of thread and hook, or use the mini version like I am and use a bulkier weight yarn and a bigger hook, and it'll end up being bigger because this is the same pattern. So this is the 4 weight yarn with the G6 or 4mm hook. This is a largely 5 weight yarn with a 6mm or a J hook, and look at the difference in size, and I'm not even done yet. So that's how you can very easily make this larger or smaller. It's one of those sort of projects that you can play with the yarn and hook size and change up the gauge, and it doesn't hurt the pattern. It just makes you a bigger stocking or a smaller stocking. So
a big thank you to Jackson for joining our crochet family. Welcome to Alpaca.
Welcome, Jackson.
And there's some more that popped up here.
Goodness.
Shelly sent a milestone.
Thank you, Shelly.
And there was another one. I think, no, I'm all caught up.
You're
so
all
that
caught
was
up?
Shelly. Shelly was the last one.
All
so
right.
Shelly says, I had a question longer than 50 characters, but forgot what it was. Haha. Showing
Well,
my age.
If you remember it, don't hesitate to pop it into the chat.
Put it in the chat. I'll see if I can find it.
We'll keep an eye out for it. Yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions about this little stocking pattern. Like I said, we've got 2 tutorials. We've got the big one, we've got the little one. So if you wanted to make a big one or this little one and you want a more concise sort of tutorial rather than sort of sitting through today's live stream, I love watching stitch by stitch live crochet alongs.
We got a membership milestone from Nico.
Oh my gosh, Nico.
10 months Vicuña level. Thank you, Nico. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Nico.
You can put a message in those too.
Yes,
if you're
yes,
a member,
you can.
you get a membership milestone per month, I think. It's kind of like a super chat.
Yeah, yep.
And you can put a message in there.
So let me see. 1. Gonna count my rows up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow, I'm already at row 9. I've got 1 more row to go, working on my stocking upper, chain 1 turn. But of course, if I got to the end of row 10 and I decided that maybe I wanted it a little bit taller, I could add another row, or if I felt that it was too tall, I don't have to add as many rows. That won't harm the pattern. So if you want to change up the number of rows in the stocking upper, so more or fewer, you can go ahead and do that. It won't hurt the pattern. So a very little flexible pattern. I love this. I was so delighted with the big version a couple years ago that I decided I needed to do the little version because, like I said, my favorite ornament are stockings. I just think they're so darn cute. And I wanted to make an advent calendar that was all Christmas stockings. So we made the mini version of our big falling leaves Christmas stocking.
Our new member Jackson asks, what yarn did you use for the big stocking?
That was Heartland.
Heartland
yarn
Lion Brand.
By Lion Brand.
Yeah.
I'll show you that again. This is the color Yosemite, and ooh, what is the green? I know the name of the green. The green is, let me think, Joshua Tree. It's Joshua Tree. Yeah, Yosemite and Joshua Tree. Heartland, 100% acrylic, so it shouldn't give you an allergic response. It's lovely soft stuff. I really like it.
It's really soft and it feels really good for acrylic.
It's one of my favorites. And
yeah, it's
you can really
soft.
see that falling leaf texture.
Can you hold it closer up?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Let's see here. I wanted to shout out Robin. Her birthday is tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
Happy birthday, early birthday.
Happy early birthday, Robin. Busy week for a birthday. Woo-wee. All right, so I have finished row 10 of that little falling leaf stitch. That is the last stitch, the last little row for the upper part of the stocking. I am in love. This is so darn cute. Oh my gosh. Oh, holy smokes.
That color, that coral color is incredible.
It
looks like it's switched on.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And compared with all that pink and purple and
very nice.
Oh my gosh.
Someone was asking earlier, what do you call that yarn, the purple one? Would that be variegated or tweed? What would you call that style of
I would call this a tweed self-striping. Or a twist self-striping, because it's actually, as you can see here, two colors sort of wrapped together, but each of those two colors self-stripes. So you've got two self-striping yarns twisted together. So this is what I would call a self-striping twist yarn. And I just love it. I can't get enough of that. There's pink, coral, peach, gray, so nice. So I fastened off. I'm going to work over top of that little tail as I go, because now it's time to work the upper part of the stocking, the edging. So I'm going to start with a slip knot on my hook. And I'm going to start with a slip stitch in the middle back of the stocking. So if I kind of look at my stocking and I look at, this is the middle back here. So I go kind of straight up from the flat knit. This is the edge of the heel. I go straight up here. And I start back here in a middle space. So right about there, I guess. That's the very middle back stitch directly above the heel. I'm going to join with a slip stitch. And the first thing I'm going to do is create the hanger. So I'm going to chain 12. So I'm going to get the little hanger out of the way, chaining 12.
Bethany wants to know, do you have any favorite appliques for Christmas stockings? So do you mean like to decorate the stocking with?
Because yes.
Like for example, star or a heart or something like that?
We've got a monster list of appliques. So if you're looking for something in particular, depending on the theme of the stocking or maybe the person you're giving it to, we've got a lot. We've got, so the classics, we've got a little Christmas tree, miniature Christmas tree applique, like a little mini Christmas tree applique that you can decorate with beads or whatever. We have a slightly larger Christmas tree that's done in the granny square format. And we have an even bigger tree that was part of our folk art calendar blanket. So our folk art calendar blanket has 14 or 16 different appliques that were part of that blanket, but could definitely be used to create a little scene or, you know, decorate a Christmas stocking if there was some sort of specific theme you were looking for. We've got the hearts, the stars, all the classics, the trees and things. We've got a turkey, we've got birds, we've got so many different kinds. I can barely even think of them all. But if you were looking, we've even got teddy bears. So if you were looking for something like super specific, we might have it. If you were looking for something a little more general because you wanted to kind of, you know, do your own thing or embellish off of that, we've got granny shell stitch stars and a few different shapes actually. Stars, we've got the tree, we've got, let me think, a lot that, like, we've also made coasters, like little kind of shaped coasters, like pumpkins and apples and things that you could, like little simple, like kind of just random mandala style shapes that you could do in different colors. So there's like, you could also look up coaster, because coasters can also be like, they're usually typically like a flat shape. They can also be used as an applique. So the sky's the limit. In terms of what I like to put on a stocking, it depends on who I'm making it for or the theme around which I'm kind of going for. So for example, like I've done Christmas stockings in the past where I've put owls.
Hey, Shelly did it. She figured out the slide.
Shelly! Oh my
gosh. Go, Shelly.
I remember. Would you be able to create a garland that looks like strung popcorn? Oh, Shelly, what a fun idea.
And someone asked earlier if we have bauble patterns, and the answer is absolutely.
Yes. We've got a
I
bauble.
think we have 3D and 2D.
We've got a bauble stitch baby blanket, and we have a bean stitch hat. The bean stitch is much more bobbly than the bauble stitch baby blanket.
But what about Christmas baubles? Don't we have
oh, like baubles.
Yeah,
oh.
like I'm
Not
pretty
bubbles,
sure
baubles.
there's a fancy granny square, I think.
We've
Did
got.
we ever do a 3D bauble in crochet? I know we have a ball.
We've got a lot of round projects. We have a bauble Christmas, like a fancy granny square that's a bauble, like a hanging glass bauble style ornament, like a round bauble in the middle. My brain is. I'll have to go back and look. We've got 10 years worth of tutorials at this point.
I know at this stage we forget what we have. We literally have to go through our library. Mm-hmm. We have almost 1,000 videos on YouTube.
Oh my gosh.
Most of which are tutorials. At least 80% are tutorials, if not more.
So just to get back to the stocking here briefly, I joined with a slip stitch in the very center back stitch of the stocking, chain 12, and slip stitched back into the same place that I joined. That creates the little hanger to hang the stocking. And now I'm going to continue on with the rest of the edging. So I'm going to push this to the inside just so I don't end up, I want to get it out of the way so that I'm not working over top of it by any accident, I should say. I'm going to chain 2, and that's going to count as a double crochet. And then I'm going to double crochet in every single stitch all the way around. So there are 24 stitches all the way around, which is 8 of those little falling leaf stitches. And I'm going to double crochet into each of those stitches. So I'll have 24 double crochets, including that chain 2, which is going to count when I get back to the beginning. So just to let you know what I'm at. And I love that popcorn garland idea. That is such a cute idea. I will give that some serious thought because I think that would be so cute. What a neat idea. Now I want popcorn. So there's my fastened off stitch. So I'm going to make sure I get that. And now I'm going to work over top. So 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. I'm going to work over top of that short tail that I fastened off so that I don't have to really worry about weaving it in.
I have a question for everyone. Have you started your Christmas shopping? If you do Christmas or whatever holiday you do, or holiday shopping. What are we in? We're getting toward the end of November here. Mm-hmm.
We have not.
Well, what about your new slippers?
I did get new slippers.
You got new slippers the other day. That counts.
I did. Does that count? Is that a Christmas gift?
I would say so.
All right. I've worked a double crochet in every stitch around. I'm going to join with a slip stitch to the top of that chain 2 because
when you're an adult, you don't have to wait till the 25th. You just get into your gift right away.
I'm wearing them right now, actually. They're nice and cozy. All right, so I've joined that row. That's 24 double crochet all the way around. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. All right, and now we're going to work a row of kind of like an extended V-stitch, I suppose. So I'm going to start right where I am. I'm going to chain 4. This chain 4 counts as a double crochet 2 chains. So double crochet, chain 2, and into the same place, I'm going to double crochet again.
Uh-oh, Penelope wants to see your new slippers.
Oh.
Are you going to show them off?
I guess I could. I don't know if they're going to fit on the thing. Hang on a second.
This live stream, crochet live stream, is going sideways.
This is
Jayda's one and only Christmas gift.
Yeah, they're
that's it. Christmas is over.
They've got a nice a non-skid heel, and they've got memory foam in them.
It's kind of like you're wearing a big fluffy sweater.
Yeah, they're like wearing a giant sweater. So I've got different slippers for different things, and these are my, like, I can run around the house.
So our Christmas has come and gone already. That's all Jayda's getting. I'll probably get a pack of Oreos.
You might get a lump of coal. I'm not sure. A
lump of coal. Does it come does a video game come attached to that coal?
I suppose. All right, guys, back to this little pattern here. So I chained 4 and double crocheted into the same place. That counts as double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. So it's an extended V-stitch. I'm going to skip 3 stitches now. 1, 2, 3. And into the next stitch, I'm going to work double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. And this is a larger V-stitch than, say, your regular V-stitch. Not taller, just wider. So there's your wider V-stitch. And then I'm going to skip 3 stitches and do the same thing all the way around. So double crochet, chain 2, double crochet into every 4th stitch. And I'll have 6 of these large V-stitches by the time I get around to the beginning again.
So I let everyone know that Christmas, you only get the 1 slipper for Christmas.
Oh, I see.
And you get the 2nd slipper on your birthday. That way we cover the whole year. Deal? I think that's a good deal.
Uh-huh. All right. Okay, in order to close this row, you're going to find the 2nd chain of that chain 4 you started with and join with a slip stitch to it. So it's kind of like joining to the top of a double crochet. And that gives you 6 of those V-stitches all the way around. For row 3, we're going to stay right where we are, and we're going to focus on the chain 2 spaces. So we're going to work 2 single crochet, chain 2, 2 single crochet into each of these 6 chain 2 spaces. So the middle of a large V-stitch all the way around. So 2 single crochet, chain 2, 2 single crochet, and then you just jump to the next V-stitch middle and work 2 single crochet, chain 2, 2 single crochet.
IB Serenity says we should crochet lumps of coal. That's a great idea.
That is a great idea.
Oh my goodness. If you want to like play a little trick on your kids.
Oh, I love that.
Crochet lumps of coal. Of course, don't only give them the lumps of coal.
That is such a cute idea.
You got to have at least 1 slipper in the stocking, but that's an awesome idea.
So popcorn and lumps of coal.
Yes,
I am loving this live stream.
That's so fun. And then they kind of act as toys too for kids.
Yes, absolutely.
A bit like a beanbag or a stuffed toy, but it's a lump of coal.
Little crochet.
I love that idea.
Okay, when you get back around to the beginning, so that's 2 single crochet, chain 2, 2 single crochet into each middle of the V-stitch, which gives us a nice little point. When you're back to the beginning, you're going to find the first single crochet you made to start that row, and slip stitch to join, fasten off, weave in your tails.
I still have the bell beam, I just don't use it very much. It's right here.
Lovely sound.
It's been collecting dust on the desk here.
So I'm just weaving in my little tail. And then once your tail's woven in, you're going to take your stocking trim and turn it down over top of the top edge of your stocking. And because you kept your little hanger to the inside, your hanger is now available to use. And then I like to go around and holding the top of the trim, grab each of those little points and really pull them out so you can see that pretty kind of lace work that we did around the top.
Okay, we're really going here with the lump of coal thing. So now Nico's suggesting catnip. So
like crochet catnip?
So lumps of coal, crocheted lumps of coal with catnip as cat toys.
That
is fantastic.
A fantastic idea.
And then you can make the stocking for the cats, the cats in the family. You can make them look like a cat. Kind of like the SpongeBob you pulled out the other day. I haven't seen that in such a long time.
I know.
A little cat would be cute.
A cat
face stocking.
We have a cat stocking. We have a Hello Kitty cat stocking pattern.
Oh, that's right. The Hello Kitty.
For free.
Do you have that around?
No, I don't have the stocking, but I just realized we could do a live of that stocking too, but just make it a regular cat.
I think we have a pattern on that, don't we?
Yeah, we have a free pattern for it over on our website.
We're going to have to start relying on everyone, all of you, to let us know what patterns we have.
8.5 inches from top to toe, or 22 centimeters. And that is bigger hook, bigger yarn. This is the same pattern. So chunky weight size 5 yarn with a, on the heavier side, size 4 weight yarn as the B color with a J hook. And this is a 4 weight yarn on the skinnier side with a G6 or a 4mm hook. So exact same pattern, exact same stitch count, and look at the size difference between those two stockings. Oh my gosh. I'm going to grab a little water, guys. I'll be right back. If anybody has any questions about today's tutorial, the live crochet along, this pattern in general, please leave them in the chat. I'm going to get some water. I'll be right back.
Well, while Jayda's getting water, I'm just going to let everyone know we have our Black Friday pattern sale coming this weekend. It'll start on Friday and it'll go through the whole weekend to Monday. So that will be everything in the shop will be on sale. So if you have anything in your cart or you're thinking about something, this weekend would be a good time to get it.
Gee, I love this stocking. I thought I would just do a quick comparison for size. So this is the original big stocking we did in, I guess it must have been 2020. So this is the big guy. We have a tutorial for him. And this is the little brother. This is the one we did the year following for the advent calendar. And this is today's version of this little stocking using the heavier weight yarn and the bigger hook. So real cute, real different versions of the stocking options. You still have that nice, I just love that texture that falling leaf pattern creates. So
can we get a nice close-up of that pretty little lace you did at the top?
Yeah. The
one in the middle? Yeah. You can come a little closer to the camera. Nice. That looks really cute.
I just love it. It's such a cute little edging for a stocking. So this, while me chit-chatting and sort of fiddling with the thicker yarn, took what, about an hour, I guess, to make. So I feel like if you have an evening where you're going to sit and watch some Christmas movies, or you're just going to kind of put your feet up and hang out, it's a nice little project to whip up a handful of, and you can use them as like the ultimate little gift, you know, put a little something in there, a little candy, a gift card, a little, you know, a little toy, a chocolate bar, anything. And it just makes like the nicest little gift to bring with you, or to just give to somebody as a little pick-me-up. I'm going to be keeping this. I'm telling you right now. My plan was to make some for little gift bags, but this one's for me. I'm literally going to hang this in my bedroom because it is just so cute. I love how those colors all came together so much. And then I've got to hang my the rest of them, the other 24, my little advent calendar. That's got to go up soon. But that is the stocking. If there are any questions, I'm just going to quickly zip through the chat here to see if anybody had any questions. Yes, it is a good stash buster, Penelope. Absolutely. Crochet for Beginners says, does anyone put their leftover yarn tails outside for the birds? As long as it's cotton or acrylic, or I should say cotton or wool, they like the wool. They'll use a little cotton. But apparently acrylic isn't good for outside because it's, well, it's essentially plastic and it's not warm. So it's better to put out cotton and wool if you're going to give it to the birds. And actually I've tried a handful of different things, you know, cotton, wool, blends, the odd little piece of acrylic, and they typically just ignore the acrylic. So even they know they don't want it. They're like, no, we'll take the cotton and the wool. And I know they don't mind, they like string because they work it into their nests. Because we use twine, we use cotton twine and hemp, you know, rope and stuff. We have those sort of tying other little things down or little garden projects and stuff, some ornaments that we put out in the garden. And they always come and steal they come and steal it. They pick apart the string, they pick at it until it like it breaks, or they literally unpick knots in some cases, and they make off with all of the string and the twine we put out there. So how many rows for the bottom, says Regina? So the toe is 5 rows. So row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5. So there's row 1 starts with 8 single crochet. I'm sorry, 6 single crochet, 6 to 12 to 18 to 24. So we increase for the 4 rows, and then on row 5 it's just a row of regular single crochet. So that's how many rows to start. And if you're going to play with the stitch pattern ratio, but you still want to use the falling leaf stitch, this is based on a multiple of 3. So the last row of your toe needs to end on a multiple of 3. So in this case, we're at 24 stitches, which is a multiple of 3. That's 8 multiples of 3. For the big one we did, it's 48 stitches, and that's 16 multiples of 3. So you need to end on a multiple of 3. Start with a multiple of 3. That's an easiest way to do it. Jackson says, question, do you guys have anything you've crocheted for the holidays that is your favorite at the moment? Oh, like an ornament or something? Gosh, I'd have to really think about that. She says, gazing backwards at the rest of the craft.
One of my favorites is the little gnomes.
Oh, I love the gnomes. Yeah.
There's the Santa and the elf and the wizard.
Yeah, I've got them here.
But I also really like these little stockings. I love the ones that have the Harlequin look to them.
Yeah, I like those too.
Yeah.
This is Mr. InStitches' favorite little decoration. So we've got our little gnome. I think you guys may have seen him when we did the tree the other day. But we've got a Santa version of him. I just love them. So Santa version. A little elf version, so it's Santa but like in a green outfit. I love his little sort of tweaky little cap, and Merlin too, a little magician. So yeah, Mr. Stitches loves these little guys. I could have a ton of these sitting around. They're so cute. I think really it's my stockings, the Christmas stockings I've made. They're really, I have made many Christmas stockings over the years, and they're usually my favorite thing to pull out. So I'm going to say the Christmas stocking. Followed, maybe close runner-up, the Christmas tree skirt, the 12-point Christmas tree skirt. That one's
also
really nice
a really big, yes, that one's beautiful. I'm also a really big fan of the miniature clothing sets. So there's the little sweater, the little hat.
Susan, like sorry, yeah, I like those too. Susan says, Jayda, not the heel. How many rows before the heel? How many rows? Oh, rows of the falling leaf stitch in the foot. I did 6 rows. So there's 6 rows, chain 1, turn. So each row goes the opposite direction of the row before. There's 6 rows in between the toe and the heel. And then there's 10 rows between the heel and the top. I hope that answers the question. Hi, Lori. Lori just got here. Nico, thank you so much. Nico's just gifted another membership. Thank you so much. And Brenda has won it. Congratulations, Brenda. All right, guys. If there's not too many questions, that's perfectly fine. We've gone for, I think, probably a little over an hour today. So that is our falling leaf stitch mini Christmas stocking. We have a tutorial for that. We have a tutorial for the big brother. The pattern for this little stocking and the advent calendar project. So there's two. There's the stocking and then there's the whole project that includes the stocking pattern and the advent calendar thing. That's our sneaky sale of the day over in our Etsy shop. And as promised, a little sneak peek of the fun we've got planned for the rest of this week. We will see you all back here tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern for another live stream. We will let you know what we're doing tomorrow when we go live. So if you've got stuff to do this week, you've got lots of little sort of errands to run or projects to do, or you're cleaning the house, you're getting ready, or whatever it is you're up to, please consider hanging out with us for an hour every day, because we're going to be here to keep you company. It's that week kind of feeling festive. It's a nice sort of kickoff to the whole great big Christmassy season. And I know a lot of you out there have got a really busy week ahead, so we will be here to hang out with you. And if you've got questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. Leave them on the original tutorial if you like. If you've got pictures of any of these finished projects that you want to share with us, please feel free to pop into the Etsy shop, send us a message and attach a photo. And if it's okay for us to share that photo with the larger community in a community post on the community tab, please let us know, and we will be happy to do that. And if you guys are, I don't know, I was going to say, if you've got any more questions, just leave them below. I'm sorry, I'm totally distracted by my new stocking.
You're trying to give information and read the chat at the same time. It's difficult.
I am. Georgie says.
We got a membership milestone from Georgie.
Georgie, member for 26 months. Thanks, Georgie. Georgie says, Stitches, put up the link to find your tutorials. Please, several people could benefit from that link. Oh, yes. We're going to have that link to the tutorial in the description box. If it's not there already, I'm not sure, but we will put that down there. As soon as we're done here today, we do a little bit of housekeeping after we finish every live stream. So don't worry, the tutorial link will be there for anybody who needs it. And yes, if you have pictures, please feel free to send them to us at the Etsy shop. Susan says, did you see my tree and skirt? If you sent them within the last couple hours, Susan, no, I haven't seen them. But whenever somebody sends me a photo, Mr. InStitches and I always take a look at it, and we always write you back. So check your message thread if you have sent something to us, because we will get back to you if we have questions about the picture, or at the very least, we love to see what you've made. So, all right, my dears, have a wonderful rest of your day. We will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, right back here, for another live crochet along to keep you company this holiday week. And until then, stay safe, stay crafty, and we will see you tomorrow. Mr. InStitches, anything you want to add?
No, you covered everything.
Okay.
We'll see everyone tomorrow.
Okay, bye.